Liam Harper was late again. He darted through the rain-slick parking lot of Brookside Elementary clutching a soggy permission slip and a half-eaten granola bar. His tie was crooked, his dress shirt wrinkled, and a backpack strap was looped around his wrist. Like an afterthought, a wall clock ticked with judgmentus. He jogged down the hall, room 5B. Wasel ready, half empty. The buzz of other prints. Long gone. Liam wiped the sweat from his brow and forced a sheepish smile as he stepped inside. Mr. Harper said, "Ms. Renaud," his daughter's teacher, glancing up from her notes. Her voice wascom but carried the edge of someone who had waited too long. "Glad you could mock it." "I'm sorry," Liam panted, brushing grain from his jacket. A late shift again. Offered a tight-lipped nod, then motioned to the chair across from her. "Let's talk about Maddie." Liam sat, his posture apologetic. His 6-year-old daughter Maddie was his whole world, a bright spark in his otherwise chaotic life. Her mother, Claire, had passed 2 years ago, and since then Liam had been juggling night shifts at the factory and an ever-growing pile of responsibilities. "She's smart, curious, but a mess." Renaud paused, choosing her words carefully. "She's tired, she zones out in class, she forgets things, homework, snacks, a mute times, even her lunch." Liam felt his stomach sink. He knew he'd noticed off course, but hearing it aloud chipped at something inside him. "I pack her lunch every morning, I swear. Maybe she'll forgets it in her cubby. She tells me she doesn't want to trouble you," the teacher interrupted gently. "She says, and I quote, Daddy works too hard already." That nearly broke him. Before Liam cold rapidly, the door creaked open. Principal Davis, a composed woman in her early 60s with sharp eyes and a motherly smile, stepped in. "Mr. Harper," she said, "could I borrow you for a moment?" Liam stood confused but obliging and followed her down the hallway. "Is something wrong?" he asked. She stopped outside her office and looked at him, really looked at him. "No, Liam, but I have a proposal for you." "A proposal?" Inside her office, warm light spilled across framed student drawings and a small plaque that read, "Educating Hearts and Minds." Liam Shabagan, "I want to tell you something about Maddie. Every teacher here adores her. She's kind, she helps other kids with reading, even though she's still learning herself. She gives away her snacks when others forget theirs." He smiled faintly. "Sounds like her mom." Principal Davis nodded. "Which brings me to this. Maddie Watt something last week for our Letters to Heroes project." She handed him a crumpled sheet of paper written in uneven crayon lines. "Dear hero, you don't wear a cape, you don't fly, but you make me lunch and kiss my head and whisper I love you. Even when you're tired, you're me hero daddy if I win the prize. I don't want anything, I want my daddy to have Ione day off, just one to sleep or mebeto. Smile more." Liam stared at the letter end for the first time in years. Tears burned his eyes. "She wrote this, she died into school board, read it to Anthe, we're moved." Principal Davis leaned forward. "We reached out to some local partners. One of our board members owns a home services company cleaning Aaron Shandman work, another runs a day. Arranged a kind of kindness relay if you will." Liam blinked, still trying to process. "You're going to get a full day, actually, a weekend do off, no work knockers. We'll take care of everything. Moti will stay with one of our teachers who volunteered. You'll get summerist, some support, maybe even some joy." He opened his mouth, then closed it again. Would you do all this for me?" The principal smiled. "Because Maddie's writes you are a hero, and heroes deserve a little help sometimes." To that weekend Liam did something he hadn't done in years. He slept in, he read a book without pictures, he went for a walk alone. Anthen sat in a quiet coffee shop just Tobe. When he picked Maddie up on Sundavanning, she ran into his arms, holding a handmade card that read, "To the best daddy in the whole world." He knelt down and hugged her close, whispering, "Thank you, sunshine." She pulled back and grinned. "Did you smile more?" He laughed, sound surprised. "Even him, yeah, I really did." Kindness doesn't always look like grand gestures. Sometimes it's a letter in crayon, sometimes it's a weekend, and sometimes it's just someone saying, "We see you, you're not alone." And that can change